differently if it's used cars by itself.
Why is that? I mean, the value, is it based on the value or the aesthetics?
I can only speculate that used car lots are seen as have more negative aesthetic impact or just a negative impact just by their nature. But I'm speculating. I think that's a reasonable assumption.
Okay. And the second question I had was when you're looking at this from the planning standpoint, understanding the future use of the land versus current use, does that also color to a certain extent your determinations with regard to this property, knowing what the possible future uses are? And obviously we haven't gotten into our comprehensive plan creation, but knowing that we do have some ideas regarding that?
Yes, absolutely. If you look at the findings of fact to support the recommendation, it does relate to the future potential uses of the property around it, and it's really in an ideal location for a lot of uses. I think that one of the issues is that if it becomes rezoned in such a way that it allows other uses, those might be a deterrent to those more desirable uses or higher value uses.
In what way? Because if it's only that single property, I know it's a very small rezone that we're talking about here, but why would that directly impact all those properties around it that are still Zone C2?
What's difficult to maybe envision for a lot of people is that you're talking about the land. When you're talking about a rezone, you're really talking about the land. Mm-hmm. If you take away all the buildings, let's say someone buys the property and they want to scrape the site clean, they are allowed to develop it according to the rights that are accorded that particular zoning classification. So we're not really talking about the display of 8 used cars for sale. We're really talking about a site that I believe it's 0.8 acres that could be developed as a contractor storage yard. And that's probably a little extreme, but that's something that's permitted in the C3 district.
Well, not quite industrial storage, but I understand what you're saying. Fleet storage, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mayor, I'd just like to clarify something for the record, because we had something entered into the record tonight. The representation of the profanity and the lack of professionalism that was entered into the record is not reflective of the conversation with the administration related to this project.
Okay. Duly noted.
Okay.
Would entertain a motion on new business item number 7.
What is the resolution number again?
1897, I believe. Yeah. The motion would be to either adopt or to deny the zoning request. I believe. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
If you adopt the resolution, then you deny the rezone.
You're accepting the planning commission's recommendation to deny.
Yeah, okay.
I move that we approve staff's recommendation that the City Council adopt resolution, or perhaps maybe I'm misstating this.
That's
correct. Okay. Resolution number 1897, adopting the Planning Commission's recommendation to deny Z-13-02, a rezone of the property at 18865 Gardner Road from C2 General Business District to C3 Commercial District.
We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Motion Podovich, second Roberts, that the City Council adopt Resolution 1897, adopting the Planning Commission's recommendation to deny. This is a motion to deny a rezone of the property at 18865 Gardner Road from C2 General Business District to C3 Commercial District. Freeman.
Wait a minute. Do we have some more discussion?
Sure.
Or I guess.
If you have more questions or discussion, Go ahead.
I think that, someone needs to summarize what has happened here, and that is that the staff has recommended we deny the application. The Planning Commission has agreed and recommends that we deny the application, or the application to rezone. And the law is firmly on our side in stating that this use is not appropriate for the current zoning and would not work in the new zoning. Is that how everybody understands it?
Well, the law is supportive of the zoning today, which is why they've applied for a rezone so that they could fall
I'm
under
sorry,
the
then,
new law.
Well, then the staff and the Planning Commission, who we rely on for their expertise, have argued against that. And if we...
Yeah, that's great. I think everybody's familiar with the content of the business item, because it has been a matter that's been in the public eye for 6 months. Any other comments or questions?
I have a comment. This has been a very difficult episode for the city. It's been a difficult episode for everybody in this room. Obviously, a person's livelihood is at stake, and I don't like that it has come to this point. I really don't. I don't like it at all. What this question comes down to in my mind is that I think that even the property owner has said, on the record in previous discussions, that if this original mistake had not been made, that car lot would have found another place to operate. And that there would not have been this issue to begin with. We created the issue through a lack of understanding of our own permitting policy, and we have attempted to work with the business owner on this. I think there is a need in this community for a car lot, for a used car lot. I think that there is a place for a used car lot. I am going to vote in the affirmative for this resolution because of the fact that I don't think that gas station is the place for this car lot. And it comes down to a land use question. More than anything else, it comes down to a land use question, and that land use, as it currently stands, I don't believe is proper for a used car lot to be operating at that particular specific property. If it were next door, if it were across the street, if it were in any other location other than that specific place, I would support it. I just cannot support it at that location.
And I agree with that statement. I'm not against the car lot. I'm against violation of the laws that we have in place to protect all 20,000 citizens. And we can't bend rules to benefit one party when everyone else is expected to adhere to those rules in every other scenario. So I would agree with what you've said, but...
And I would add that we're not bending rules if we rezone the property. So, and again, and I understand that the concern expressed here is location, and I'll be frank, my whole thought is, if that business owner thinks that operating those businesses there and that there's might be difficulty getting in and out of there, or it may not look the best, then people won't shop there. I mean, it's really a choice of the consumers as to how they want to handle it, and I just think it's wrong to try and regulate that at this time.
But
like I said, they're asking, and I mean, I have my decision. I think everybody has theirs. I would just say we move forward.
Well, I'm in a little unique situation because I was at the first Planning Commission meeting, and to summarize, I think everybody wouldn't, if the mistake wouldn't have happened, I don't think anybody would have considered spot rezoning that lot. However, there was a mistake or unique situation, and so the Planning Commission said, go back to staff, see what we can work out. So I still agree with that. I agree that I don't think we should spot rezone. I don't know if that's the best lot space for a car lot. I do feel very bad there was a mistake made, and I would hope that if the rezoning does get denied, that a special use permit option would be pursued. That'd be my